Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from top local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to experts in family law, association law, hearing loss, business brokers, home care, along with many other topics. Now here are your hosts, Steve-O and Sophia.
Hey, good afternoon, Houston. Good afternoon, Texas. Welcome to another Ask the Expert show brought to you by Taxation Solutions. Their phone number is 877-996-6477. You can also go to their website. They sponsor all of our shows, taxationsolutions.net. We have the president and founder with us today of Taxation Solutions. We're talking tax relief today. Barry Fowler, who is an enrolled agent, which we're going to talk about today because a lot of people don't know what an enrolled agent does. But I'm going to tell you something. We do this show in about 10 different cities. And I got to tell you that I always see people who are upset with the company. I think it's usually they make false promises to them for their taxes and what they can do for them. And I've never seen so many people so upset. But we have been working with Barry in Taxation Solutions for about 8 years. And we have never, ever, and this is amazing, we have never had one complaint. And believe me, when people are upset, they don't like the expert, they call me. And it's so amazing. It's such a relief, too. And it's so nice not have to ever worry about what Taxation Solution tells people. So let's welcome our title sponsor of our show, Barry Fowler. Hi, Barry.
Hey, Steve. How are you today?
I'm good. You know, I really meant that. I mean, you would never say that because that's not who you are, but it is just amazing the comments that people leave, especially about a lot of the national, tax relief companies. And we have just never, ever, ever, I'll knock on wood, we have never had anybody complain about Taxation Solutions. So tell everybody about your company and your background.
Well, Steve, I've been, in this tax business here since I've been knee-high to a grasshopper, and there's few people that actually enjoy doing taxes. I enjoy doing the taxes, but I enjoy fighting against the IRS to save our clients as much money as possible on their tax debts. We look at their past tax returns, maybe try to improve their situation. We run the gamut of everything that's related to both federal and state taxes. This company, we started this back in 2008. And you and I have been doing this, may have been closer to 10 years now.
Yeah.
Coming to South Florida and visiting our Orlando office and our Miami office. We did some seminars down there. And it's just been going gangbusters here for us across the country. We've been having a very good year of getting resolution for our clients and beating the IRS, getting offers and compromises done, penalty abatement, installment agreements, non-collectible status, you name it. We have been doing it, fighting against the IRS. And they're hiring about 80,000 more IRS agents.
Oh, it's scary.
No clue what they're doing.
That's 80,000 people you're going to have to train, Barry.
Well, if they'd let me train it, we could probably get things taken care of a little bit faster than their own training over there. We fight against it every single day when we're talking to the IRS of, hey, yes, they qualify for this penalty abatement. No, we don't have to go through all these other channels. Just give it to them. Or they do qualify for this installment agreement. I just proved it to you. Let's do it. These are deductible expenses for an offering compromise. Let me explain to you how it is in the Internal Revenue Manual. And they're going, yeah, but somebody, I don't care what anybody's telling you. Read the manual. We have. So, just the way life goes.
Barry, I don't know if you remember this, but a friend of mine that used to do the show with me, her sister ran into some trouble, Andrea. And of course, we had Andrea call you, and you were totally honest with her. You said, there's really nothing that we can do for you. I mean, I wish we could. And that is just not the case many times in your business with that type of honesty.
And, I do remember that situation. And at first I was like, who is that? And then you start talking about it, like, yeah. And it was really funny. It's not that we couldn't do anything for her. We could set her up in a payment plan. She didn't owe as much money as she thought. And, she was listening to the national ads that some of these companies run that say, hey, I can get you an installment, I can get you an offering compromise, I can settle this for pennies on the dollar, yada, 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 all this fun stuff that makes everything sound great. And you want that pipe dream. So you're sold on the fact that, hey, I'm going to get an offering compromise. Well, when she called and talked to us, we go, well, look, you're making way too much money. The IRS is going to come back and say, hey, you can afford to pay it. You have too much equity in your house. You have money sitting in a 401k or retirement plan.
Yes.
And, we know from our experience and we know from the knowledge of, the tax law out there that you're just not going to qualify for what you want to be able to settle for. And because you're owing a lot less than, maybe $10,000, it may not be worth spending the money to go through all these things. Here's the way you can go and do it yourself that is cost effective for you, and it's going to get you to the same point as paying us to do it. We don't want to charge you for something that, hey, we're not going to be able to help you. We're not going to be able to get you the penalty abatement. We're not going to be able to get you that low installment agreement or that offering compromise because of your situation. So, we try to make sure it's going to make sense for you before we're going to go out there and charge you the fees to do this. I have some people that insist on us doing it anyway, and they'll pay us the fee to do it because they don't want to deal with the IRS and they don't want the stress of dealing with the IRS because they don't make it easy.
Barry, I got to tell you, a lot of people really think when it comes to, the IRS getting behind your taxes is taboo. And it used to be where, you didn't want to tell anybody and you would just put those envelopes in the drawer hoping it would go away. You don't have to be embarrassed. I mean, Barry will tell you there's a lot of people out there who are behind with their taxes.
Oh, yeah. When you call us, 877-996-6477 for that free consultation, there is a no judgment zone. I mean, we don't pass any judgment on you. We understand things happen. Maybe you went out in business and got into consulting, but you didn't have a tax expert to tell you to make estimated tax payments or what is deductible, or maybe you're a truck driver and you're just too dang busy on the road to file those taxes. We're set up to be able to help you and get you through that. We're not passing judgment. We're going to find a solution. We're going to find a way to help you solve that problem and get you back on your feet so you can actually go home and sleep at night. Or if you're over road trucker, you're not worried about some rogue IRS agent coming out there and pulling your truck from you. I got some funny stories about that because I've had to deal with old IRS agents that's what they lived for. Hey, to go get a truck from a trucker while they're out on vacation. Hey, give me a break. Take a vacation, relax. We'll get them back on the straight and narrow. But it also allows your spouse to get rest at night and sleep at night with a lot less stress than you have to deal with. You shouldn't have to deal with all the stress and then add the stress of dealing with a IRS agent who says, hey, you can afford to pay this, you can do this. No, not everybody can afford to do this. Not everybody makes $1 million. Not everybody makes $500,000 or whatever that number is. It's not there. So if you owe 10,000, that may be a lot to you. We've had people that have owed millions call us, and we've gotten them settled or gotten them back on the straight and narrow or fixed their tax situation. So everybody's situation is very different, and we got to walk you through it.
Barry, what is the Fresh Start program I keep reading about?
I have a really good answer for this one. So every advertising company out there advertises Fresh Start. We can get you a Fresh Start. We can do this. The IRS has these programs. Well, they have the programs. I laugh because that's what the IRS named it, because they want you to freshly start sending them money. And so their Fresh Start program in the IRS eyes is fresh money into the coffers for them, not necessarily fresh for you. They just want your new money and coming in to pay your bills. But, their programs that they have set up underneath that is, an installment agreement, full pay, of course. They can give you some payment relief, meaning if you get the right IRS agent and you do things the right way, you can probably get yourself maybe a lower installment agreement if you qualify. And then they call their offer and compromise, which we've had out there for many, many years. They put a new title on it, Fresh Start Offer and Compromise. And that's where, if you have hardship, that you can settle for, less than 100% of what you owe. We do it every single day. Last week, we had probably 4 offers that came in that were accepted. They varied from somebody paying $100 to settle their $35,000 debt to paying, I think it was $2,300 on $60,000 or $62,000 worth of debt. And then we had somebody else that had to pay close to $6,000 on $25,000 worth of debt. So everybody's situation does differ. We do help you get your situation set up such that if you're close to qualifying, or we can find a way to do it, maybe we get you to buy a new car, or we get you to do different things that changes your financial position but lowers what you're going to pay to the IRS. Like I said, everybody's situation different, but we're able to sit down and make those determinations with you. But the one thing, like I always told you, for as long as we've been dealing with each other, if you don't pick up the phone and call the office at 877-996-6477, we can do nothing for you.
Yeah.
Check us out on the web at taxationsolutions.net. Go to the Better Business Bureau. You'll see that we are A+ rated at the BBB. So, we do what we're going to say. We're going to stand behind it. We ask for your complete honesty right up front. Tell us what your situation is.
Can you imagine that you don't have to talk? You retain Barry's company, Taxation Solutions. You no longer have to talk to the IRS anymore. And for those of you who are talking to them, you could be giving them information now that's going to help them to find your money or put you in the hole. You need a professional like Barry and his the people who work for Barry talking to the IRS for you, not doing it yourself.
Yeah, I actually enjoy it. Everybody that I've trained coming through our office and has worked with us, we teach them how to enjoy actually defeating the IRS. It's kind of fun, and it's, hey, we want another one, ring the bell, rack them up and move them on out. Let's get it done. And then there's some that just linger forever because the taxpayer, the client of ours, doesn't want to move very fast. So it's a combination of how slow the IRS moves, and they're moving a little bit faster today than they were 6 months ago or even a year or two ago. But then there's other people that just drag their feet, and then the taxpayer drags their feet in getting information. So we can move at the speed of light if you're ready to move and get these things settled. But the relief factor is the only people you're talking to and dealing with is us. You get our nice business card, and if IRS agent calls you, or if for some reason you're in a business and dealing with payroll tax issues or something, and they come out on site, you just stop them, give them a card, and you say, hey, call Mr. Fowler here at 877-996-6477. See how I threw that number in really quick? And, we step into your shoes. We stop them from doing that so that we can start dealing with it. And they're not allowed to come out there and do it. So they are violating the law as long as we're all being proactive and working with that revenue officer or with the IRS so that, we keep them away. We've had them try to set meetings, and we step in there and say, no, you can't set the meetings without us. And we tell our clients to say hi and leave if they have to be there. And that's it. I mean, we make it simple and easy.
You know what? Also, I want people to know you might have a friend, a relative, maybe your grandparents, somebody who's in a different state. Barry can help them. It doesn't matter. I don't think there's any states that you don't work in. Are there, Barry?
No, not at all. Actually, I have offices all across the country that we use to meet with the IRS when we need to. Everything that we do with our clients is virtual now. So we make it simple and easy. Everything we have, secure portals, secure information transfer, is all very secure. So we make it as easy as possible. My funny stories is I never thought I'd have clients from Hawaii or Alaska. Figured they would all be, closer. Well, I took a trip out to Hawaii and we ended up with 2 or 3 new clients out of Hawaii. Unfortunately, I didn't get out to Alaska, but we had 5 clients that came out of Alaska. Now, there's not that many people in Alaska. We probably had the 5 that owed tax money come to us. So if you got relatives living anywhere, we'll do it.
I hear you, but I just want people. First of all, if you're watching on TV right now, we're flashing Barry's phone number, his website address. If you're listening on radio, Barry, it's 877-996-6477. Also, if you've missed part of the show, you can go to YouTube or you can go to iHeart, go to Ask the Experts, Houston, and pull up tax relief, and they'll be all you can find out. You can watch today's show. But, Barry, I wanted to tell you before we get out of here that I keep hearing the number $10,000, and I've heard that from you. I hear it all the time on commercials. What if someone owes $5,000?
Well, we can help them too. And most likely it's going to be a payment plan. You're not going to be looking for that offer and compromise. What you've got to consider, and I tell this to everybody that comes to us and when we're talking to them, is what's the cost benefit ratio to you? Is it going to cost you more to put this in place than it would be to, get out there and you could probably settle the debt or, pay it as you go. If you need to be in non-collectible because you really have nothing, yes, we can help you put you in that situation or put you in a small payment plan. We do have a lot lower fees for people that owe that $5,000 out there, as long as that's all they owe. A lot of times we find out if they come in saying they owe $5,000, that was 4 years ago, and now they're over 10 or 12,000, and we find a way to settle their debt. So, everybody's situation is different. The reason that 10,000 is there, we don't want you thinking, hey, we're going to go after an offer and compromise. It's not cost effective for you owing less than $10,000 to go after that offer and compromise. You'd be better off being in a non-collectible status than sitting there with an offer and compromise.
Well, I got to tell you that, and I'm kind of giving you behind the scenes. Barry's company is the sponsor for all of our shows, not just this show, but all of our shows. And I got to tell you, that's an endorsement as far as we're concerned. Like I said, Barry and I have been doing this together for a long time. And I just want people to understand, You don't have to be embarrassed. That you are going to feel like the biggest load off your shoulders when you retain Barry's company, because you don't have to mess with the IRS anymore. Barry gets to do that. And if anybody, and I mean this with all my heart, if anybody can get you results, Barry can.
Well, we have fun doing it, and we push the IRS to the limit to get them settlements as low as possible when we can go after the offers and compromises. When I'm dealing with non-collectible status, I'm pushing the limit to get you into that non-collectible status. If we're going after a payment plan, again, we're going to try to get it as low as possible for you. We're going to give you ways that you can help us by changing your financial situation to qualify for any of those to be at the lowest amount. So we're always looking at it. My staff laughs at me when I'm coaching, enrolled agents that work for us or tax attorneys that work for us that, hey, you need to have a client do this or that. Maybe as simple as buying a new car and having a car payment. Well, guess what? We just reduced your offer by an extra, what would be $500 a month that you would qualify for. And guess who's paying for that new car now?
Yeah.
The IRS, because it's lowered what we're offering them. So you would pay that $500 to them. Why not pay it on your own car? Hey,
right.
There's little things we can do. Don't jump off and do that because I said it here. Okay, it's not a recommendation right off the top, but it is something that we look at while we're trying to put your financial picture together. Ruben just called us here today, and it just reminded me of it because, we told him, hey, look, your installment agreement is going to be $600 or $700 a month. But if you go out and buy this new car and you have a limit of what you can spend on it, we can reduce that installment agreement by basically this car payment. And he just came in with a $487 car payment earlier today. So it just reminded me that, hey, that's one of the things that we do. So his payment plan will be like $200 a month. Or he may now even qualify for a really low offering compromise. We're rerunning the numbers to make sure exactly where he's at. So it's those fun things that we get to do that, we can see the excitement talking to somebody in their eyes and hear it in their voice that they're so happy that they got rid of that car that's been sitting around for 15 years and didn't want to go buy one, that they felt relief enough to go buy this car and knowing that their offer is going to be a lot less or their installment agreement is going to be a lot less. And that's the pleasure we get out of it. So it's really cool.
Barry, let's give that phone number out again for all those who are listening on radio right now.
All right. So that is 877-996-6477. You don't have to write it down because I know you can go in and replay this on the podcast. Steve was going to give you that one. The website is taxationsolutions.net. And again, if you can pull it up on YouTube, you can see all that stuff on YouTube. Steve-O looks better than I do on big screen TV. and
hey, Barry, let's remind everybody, if you're available next Tuesday at 4:00 Central Time, Barry will be doing his Los Angeles show, but it doesn't matter what city he's doing. Barry could do it through Zoom. Doesn't matter where you live. But we're going to be talking again about tax relief. Barry, thanks so much. Have a wonderful and blessed weekend. And Barry's with us the last week of each month. We will be letting you know when he's on with us next month. But next Tuesday, he'll be doing our California show.
Well,
thanks, Barry.
Working with you in California. Let's have a good time out there. Steve, I appreciate it. Have a great and God bless weekend.
Okay, buddy. Stay safe. That's Barry Fowler, Taxation Solutions. I am telling you, if you've got a tax problem, whether it's personal or for your business, I've never known of anybody any better than Barry that you can trust. We're just so lucky and blessed to have him. Our next expert, we are going to be talking about weight loss. She is a local doctor that is just got the most incredible background. She actually has a clinic. She is an MD. Let me see if we have her. Is she on the line yet, Rebel?
No, she's not.
Okay. We were so lucky to find her. She's out of the Dallas Fort Worth area. I believe it's Irving that she's in, but she's going to be coming on with us in just a minute. Sometimes she gets so busy that she runs a little late, but the name of her clinic is Elite Care Clinic, and I'm going to send Miss Rebel the information so we can put it right up on the scroll. We kind of do our show different than everybody else does. First of all, ours is live, and so we usually try to give you two different experts, and sometimes it's tough on Rebel, who's our producer. Let me send this over to her right now. We're going to have Dr. Gamboa on she's been with us now for about 7 months, and she's got a great way when it comes to weight loss. We have a lot of weight loss has become our number one topic. And I got to tell you that I've got health issues, not looking for sympathy, but every issue that I have is also related to being overweight. And I am working on that because it's so important. I mean, I have sleep apnea, I have high blood pressure, kidney problems, and it's all due to being overweight. So I am working on that now. And what's so great about Dr. Gamboa is that the way she teaches how to lose weight, it makes you like you cannot wait till the next day to start working on it again. And normally when it comes to losing weight, you know as well as I do that it's tough. It's almost like a full-time job. And that's why people tend to get off of it, stop doing it, and then they start gaining the weight back. And when that starts, and it usually starts by eating things you shouldn't be eating and saying, I'll just restart my diet tomorrow. And that never works at all. So the name of the clinic is Elite Care Clinic. They are in Irving. That's where they are, in Irving, Texas. But she does telemed, which is Zoom, where doesn't matter what part of the country you live in. So they can do a history on you to find out why you've gained weight. And they have so many things in their bag. I don't want to call them bag of tricks, but they have so many different ways now to lose weight. I am sure that Dr. Gamboa is probably with the patient right now because we heard from them earlier wanting to make sure about the time. But while we're doing this, I want to tell everybody that tell your friends about the show. Every week we have one or two experts on our show from either the legal, which is usually an attorney, health, which we have many health areas, financial, which is usually more about investments, and we also do home improvement, which is a great category for us, where we talk about air conditioning and heating, we talk about roofing, plumbing, many different ways. I am in our main office is here in South Florida. And if you've been listening to the news, we had a major hurricane today here in the northern part of Florida. And there is, they're called public insurance adjusters. And there are people who actually go, companies that actually go and fight for you with the insurance companies, because the insurance companies, their job is to give you the least amount possible. And when you have a public adjuster, they are going to go in and fight for you. They know what you should actually get, and it's usually a lot more. And you pay them a percentage of how much more they get you. But we consider that home improvement. And we do a lot of foundation repair, hurricane windows. But if you have a business and you would like to come on our show as an expert, we would love to have you. Health, legal, financial, and home improvement. It is a great way, because what's happened is we used to be on radio. We were on all the major radio stations. And in Dallas, we were on 1190 AM for years, maybe 8 years in Dallas. And I've had people in the last few years tell me that radio, people don't listen to radio like they used to. That podcasts have become so much more important in the media. But I'm still old school, and I just did not see how podcasts could be stronger than radio. But I started talking to friends of mine, relatives, people I know, business people. I got to tell you, I was shocked how many people listen to podcasts. It blew me away. And talk radio is so big. But a man by the name of, I'm going to forget his name now, Savage, the talk show host. Oh my gosh, I can't think of his first name, but him and Rush Limbaugh had the two largest radio talk shows in the United States. And one day he just went from radio to podcast. And I was like, how did you do that? You got one of the top two shows in the United States. All these people know about you. And I'm thinking he's crazy. Well, it wasn't him who was crazy. It was me, because his numbers doubled when he went to podcast. So when I started shopping around for companies that do podcasts, what I loved about the company we found, the company we're with, is they also do, besides podcasts, they do radio and they do streaming TV. And I got to tell you, it was the best move I ever made, because our numbers are way up in all of our markets that we're in. So if you have a business in Dallas, Houston, Austin, Los Angeles, Phoenix, Las Vegas, Atlanta, Philadelphia, South Florida, which is our corporate office here, Tampa, Orlando, give us a call here at 954 336 3767. Give it to you again. It's 954 336 3767. We break our shows up into 25-minute segments. And I got to tell you, it goes by so fast. Every one of our new experts, that's the first thing they say to us when they come off the air for the first time is, gosh, this goes by fast. So, and I'm looking now, I'm seeing that we're here, it's around 5:36, and we have not seen our doctor yet. Let me just make sure she's not writing and freaking. Oh, wait a minute. Here it is. The link is. Oh, they're saying the link we sent isn't working. Okay. Maybe, Rebel, maybe you can send me the link again and we'll send it over to them. But it sure worked for us.
It's in the private chat. Do you want me to put it in an email?
You want to email it to them?
I can email it to them, but I don't think we should give out their email address online.
Why don't you just send it to me and I'll forward it over to them? But I don't know why, because the one we're working is working for everybody else. I kind of figured something like that happened. I don't know why. And we're waiting right now. No, God, that was fast. Let me send this over to them. That's really. Are you surprised, Rebel? The link's not working?
I am surprised that the link's not working because we were in here.
Yeah. That's really strange.
It depends if they're on Chrome or different. They need to be on Chrome.
Okay, let me go ahead and let me send it over to them. Okay. We're going to be kind of really rushing for time, but that's okay. No one has anywhere to go right now. You want to sit and listen to the Ask the Expert show. Just waiting. She should be coming on any minute now. Anyway, I wanted to tell you about if you want to come on as an expert on our show. It's really a great way to boost your business, especially when you're positioned as an expert. Again, my phone number is 954 336 3767. 954 336 3767. And
the doctor is in the house.
Doctor's in the house. Okay. We're going to go to Dr. Gamboa right now. There she is.
How are you?
I don't understand what happened because we all got in and we had another expert on before you.
I don't know what happened with that link. I was clicking on it and then it was like saying error. No one's in the, like, I don't know what happened. It says 404 or something like that. So, but I'm glad I'm here.
We are so glad you're here. Dr. Gamboa, I've been telling people about your practice and why you're different from all the others. You have a clinic in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but I want people to know, because we have people from all over Texas watching and listening to the show now. You can do telemed, right?
Yeah, that's correct, Steve. Like we can do telehealth. Nowadays, it changed a little bit because all this state of emergency has changed a little bit and stopped. But it's still, we can like do telehealth. Obviously, like I will have to prescribe to a pharmacy here in Texas, and then they will ask them, their pharmacies, to transfer to their state that they are, because I don't have a license, and again, the emergency stopped, emergency state, so like I cannot prescribe like across state lines anymore.
Dr. Gamble, want you to tell people about your background, but you know what I don't understand, because we're talking weight loss. There are so many health issues that come out of obesity. I mean, there is a lot, and some of them are very dangerous. Why don't the insurance companies get more involved when it comes to obesity?
You know, that's a very good question, because what happens is, like, we would all love to see the insurance companies to invest in the patient, right? In the sense of like,
Yes.
do preventative medicine and not reactive medicine. I mean, we are great at doing reactive. I mean, we're one of the world's best place for like bypass surgeries, catheters, like heart caths, and all this. But we're not really the greatest at doing prevention. And unfortunately, I think that insurance companies, what happens is they don't see it in the long run, how much they will save if they
Yes.
invest in your health and say, okay, so if we help this person lose weight, how much we're going to save by him not having a bypass, by him not developing obstructive sleep apnea, by him not developing a cancer. But they only see it in the short term, and they see, okay, so I want to save as much as I can on this patient, so we're not going to cover all these expensive weight loss medications for the patient, you know. And unfortunately, I think we have to have more people or doctors telling them this, that we have to prevent things to decrease the amount of all these consequences from obesity.
Well, I understand that totally. I have sleep apnea, and I know it's from my weight issues, and those machines are expensive.
Oh,
And
indeed.
to think that, hey, if the insurance paid for something that's going to help me to lose weight, they're not going to have to pay for that expensive CPAP machine.
Exactly. And also, like, you're not going to develop all the problems that come with obstructive sleep apnea, with decreasing your
Right.
oxygen, like, you know, like later on, if you're going to have a enlarged heart, or you're going to develop pulmonary hypertension, or other problems or consequences from that. But yes, unfortunately, they don't see the big picture. They don't see it in the long run, how much it will improve. They are seeing more like how much we're going to save in this period of time, you know, with this patient, unfortunately.
Dr. Gambo, tell people about your practice, what areas that you cover within the Elite Care Clinic.
We are located in Irving, Las Colinas. However, we have patients from all over the DFW, like Dallas, like all the way into like Fort Worth and beyond. So like, I am blessed to have all people coming from all these places, and sometimes they have to drive an hour and a half or almost 2 hours to come see me in the clinic.
Stop being so good and they won't have to do that. So now, what areas do you cover when it comes to patient care?
I am a family medicine physician per training, but then also I did my extra like studies on obesity. So I'm a diplomate of the American Board of like obesity medicine. Then also like I did some training for hormone replacement. So I am certified for hormone optimization and replacement with bioidentical hormones, especially with pellets, but in general bioidentical hormone replacement.
Yeah, I'm here in Florida, and I have heard so many wonderful things about the pellets.
Oh yes, Steve. Like those are, you know, it's great, because like they before we used to think that the hormones were bad and they were not good for you, and all this negativity and this myths about hormones. But fortunately now we have all the research that back us up, saying that okay, all these bioidentical hormones are good, and all the benefits. For example, like men, like you also need estrogen and testosterone. We all have that, but in different amounts. So men have a lot of more testosterone and a little bit of estrogen. But what it does, it helps a lot with the insulin resistance. So little by little, you're going to start decreasing the belly gut that we call this, the visceral fat. That's the culprit for fatty liver. That's the culprit for like insulin resistant, pre-diabetes, and diabetes. So little by little, all the hormone replacement is going to help you with that. It's going to help decrease your risk for dementia. It's going to help you decrease the risk for like coronary vascular disease. This going to risk it's going to decrease the risk for developing osteoporosis. So all this good benefits that the hormone optimization and replacement have nowadays.
After our last show, we got so many letters from listeners, and I'm going to let you pronounce these because I'm not going to be any good at it. Everybody wants to know about these injections that were actually made for people with diabetes, but they're working on weight loss.
Yes.
Can you go into that in more detail? Do you are you
Sure.
favor that? Okay.
I use them like every day in my practice. So like these injections are FDA approved for diabetes, and we have the ones that are the first ones. They were Victoza, then like the Ozempic and Trulicity. So those are the ones that are going to help for the diabetics. So we started with that. And how do they work? They work internally. They're going to decrease the insulin secretion whenever you like after a meal. They're going to work with decreasing your hunger hormone and increasing your satiety. So that's why they are so effective and they work really good. Obviously, by doing this, also they will make your stomach a little bit slower. So like the food, if it stays on a normal person up to 4 hours, probably it can take 7 or more whenever you're on these medications. And sometimes that gives the adverse effects of the nausea, like the constipation and all this gastrointestinal symptoms. But they are very effective, And then the newer one that came out is Monjaro. And this one, it's the one that is a combination of 2 peptides. And it seems to help a little bit more beyond only the suppression of the appetite and the satiety, because the other peptide also helps with insulin resistance. So it works great for diabetics. And now, like those ones and the generic names for Ozempic, it's semaglutide. And then that one, everyone, like if you've seen like on the social media and everyone were using it, Hollywood, everyone was using it because they work really good. And now the FDA approved obesity medications are basically the same peptide, the semaglutide, but the name of it for weight loss is called Wegovy. And then Monjaro, whenever it came out, because they had this coupon, so everyone was using it because it was getting introduced in the market. So people with and without diabetes for weight loss alone, they were using it, and they saw that it works pretty good. Right now, that's being in the works for being approved for obesity only, and I think that's going to be very successful as well as the Wegovy, because again, they work internally with those like with the hunger hormone, the satiety, and in the insulin, and it works really, really good.
Well, I hate that we got a late start, and I can't wait for you to come back again with us next month. And I guess we should really talk about the pellets more next month. Give everybody your phone number, Dr. Gimbo.
Oh, sure. The office is 469-947-6020. And again, this is Elite Care Clinic in Las Colinas, Irving.
And I got to tell you, I love the way you communicate. So I can't wait to have you back on, and we'll make sure that link works.
Yes, thank you, Steve. And I'm sorry, like we had that late
It's okay.
start too. I
At least we
would
got
love
on.
to talk more about the hormones. It's a
Yes.
passion for me, like not only for guys, but also for women, like all this hormone optimization and all these other things that we have to offer for wellness.
I love it. Have a wonderful and blessed
You
week.
too.
And we'll see you next month.
Take care and be careful, because over there was the hurricane alert or something, right?
Yes, we did. It's
Yeah.
further north, but
Okay.
It's hurricane season though now, but hey, the show must go on.
I know. Like, be careful and take care. Bye.
Thank you, Dr. Gambo.
You're
That's
welcome.
Elite Care Clinic. Dr. Gambo, she is a sweetheart. We'll be back with you again next week, next Wednesday, with more Ask the Experts. Stay safe. See you soon.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.